What's been keeping me awake at night has actually been the high level of complacency and the low level of volatility we've seen in the equity markets compared to what we've seen in the commodity markets, in the debt markets, and in the currency markets. As a result of that, particularly after the Fed yesterday, we're seeing an opportunity. Look, it's time to take a look at some of these energy names. I'm not saying there aren't risks out there. When you look at 6-year lows, if your alternative is to buy a 2% treasury, I think the risk reward becomes very favorable. A lot of the negatives are getting priced in. A more dovish tone out of the Fed, certainly that's the perception of the gold market, will be negative for the dollar. It'll be positive for energy and commodities, and that's what we're seeing today. It looks like a bottoming action, so I think that's actually a positive. With all this turmoil, you create opportunities, and I think for investors who have a long enough time horizon, maybe you take a more cautious approach on some of these high multiple technology and biotechnology names that are getting hit today with the NASDAQ, like Netflix and so on, and you look at some of these bombed out other areas that will benefit as destabilization in the Middle East elevates the price of energy and ultimately is a resurgence in Asian economies. It's interesting, we were just talking about some of these high-flying technology names, and they're actually not beneficiaries of lower energy prices. There are so many areas in the economy, so many innovation-based economies around the world, like India, like Israel, like South Korea, all benefit because they're net energy importers, but our own high-flying technology and biotech names don't benefit. So we can take a cautious approach on some of those, perhaps look at some of the areas that are down in sympathy with what's going on in China overseas that we can pick up at bargain basement prices, but are still innovation, technology, and healthcare based. And I think that's a great swap for investors to consider here. Tax loss selling is going to be weak, and it's going to put pressure on energy names, but you got to start digging through the rubble here and putting your shopping list, getting great high quality names at discounted prices, and being cautious with some of the super expensive names that become a source of funds here.